Hello everybody, welcome back to Anxiety Chats. Today I thought I'd tell another story, a bit different because this is kind of like loads of mini stories in one, because I just wanted to share, I guess, some of the things that people have said to me or to my family, or sometimes from my family to me, about my anxiety over the years. This is not like a tea video. I'm not trying to spill any tea. But I'm trying to, I guess, show that people can sometimes be unkind, sometimes just be misinformed, sometimes think they know better than the person suffering. And I think this goes across all invisible disabilities, physical disabilities, people that have stuff, like people that have invisible illnesses or disabilities in general. I think for some reason, like able-bodied people or people that don't suffer from mental health problems or physical health problems can think they know better and can think that they can cure it, or think that they can just, I don't know what it is. I have obviously suffered with different invisible disabilities or illnesses or whatever you want to call them since I was 10, and I am now 26. So I've heard a lot of things said to me about my anxiety, about I've got thyroid conditions and all sorts of wonderful things. And I guess this video is just, I kind of wanted to highlight some of the things that have been said to me. This is a tiny fraction of all of the things that people have said to me that have been hurtful. Also want to point out that some of the things people have said to me, they have later on said, I shouldn't have said that those years ago. I didn't fully understand at that point. And I think that's absolutely amazing and really great. And my parents at some points when I was a child did not understand, and, but now they really understand. I think that takes a lot of courage. But yeah, let's just get into some of the things people have said to me about my anxiety over the years. One of the more recent ones is somebody has said, or a few people have said, your poor boyfriend. Does that mean you can't go on holiday with your boyfriend? Well, shame for him. Yes, it is a shame for him in some ways that I have things that means that we can't do certain things together, or when we do certain things together, it can be harder, and that can be hard for him. And I think loving anybody with a mental health problem can be hard and has its tough things. However, that's not something you should say to people. I think, I'm the person that suffers with this every day. I'm in my brain, I'm in my body, and it's not always easy. And just think before you speak. This one was kind of silly. Like I just said, people often, like when people find out they have agoraphobia and they have anxiety about traveling outside of like my tiny little town, like, so you can't go on holiday. I think this is just ignorance, and maybe they're from a perspective of them being like, I love going on holiday, so you can't go on holiday, that must be rubbish. And I don't think it's always from a place of being mean or anything like that, but yeah, I can't go on holiday. Yeah, there's bigger problems going on in the world. I think this one can just don't say this. Just think if you can't think of anything to say, it's okay to just be quiet or just say, oh, that sounds hard. This next one was a girl that I met on Tinder and that I was talking to. I met her in the pub with some of my friends, and she was saying like, why don't you come up to mine one day and we can chat and whatever. I don't know. And I was like, oh, I actually can't because I have agoraphobia, which means I won't be able to go like 20 minutes to your house. And she was like, what? I was like, oh yeah, like I won't be able to do that. And she was like, oh, what's the point? So you can't do that? Like you can't leave at all? Like what's the point? Like just no empathy at all, and just kind of like, I mean, I've had that one a lot. What's the point? And do you not think that people with anxiety also feel this? People with anxiety also experience, like this is really hard. What's the point? Like there have been many times over the years that I have felt this too. And so for somebody else to say that is so insensitive and so unkind. This one I don't think came from a place of just ignorance. I think this was an unkind thing to say. If you're somebody watching that has anxiety, which I'm guessing you might, there's so many points. Like if you're somebody like me that can't really leave your home very easily, or you find it really difficult to do certain things, there's so many things about you that are amazing and that you should be happy about. Like I love reading, I love meeting my friends close to me, I love creating, I love art, I love making videos. Like there's so many things that I love and I can do, and I know I'm a super kind person, very empathetic, blah de blah de blah. I could go on, but what I'm trying to say is there's so many more things to you than anxiety or your abilities. It really is nobody else's business, and there's lots of points. The next one is more of a tricky one, and that is I often get met with, have you tried this? And that can be really helpful. And there's been lots of times where people have said, have you tried this? And been like, oh, I've not actually tried that, or not actually thought about that. That could be useful. And then there's been a lot of times when people have said, have you tried something? Which things like, have you tried yoga? Have you tried this type of tea? Have you tried... It's just infuriating sometimes when you're met constantly with, have you tried this? Have you tried this? Like loads of random people are trying to cure me or whatever. And I'm grateful in a lot of ways for that, I think. But I also kind of want people to just accept me as I am. I want people to just be like, that's Emily. She has things that mean that it's really hard for her to do certain things. That is her business. That's something that I will listen or I will accept about her. But it's not for me to try and fix her. I am not her doctor or her therapist. I mean, it's a really, really tricky one, this one, because, you know, if I'm really close with somebody and they hear about something that could be helpful, they don't think I mind as much. In fact, I think that's cool sometimes, but I think sometimes when you meet somebody for the first time or you don't know somebody very well and they're just listing off things, it can be quite annoying. Sometimes people's fascination or people's desire to know everything about somebody with mental health problems, like it's their business, can be quite annoying. I've had a lot of people think that my family or my parents have like mollycoddled me or, you know, given me too much leeway. Like, I know that there's people that have thought that, you know, her parents should have just, you know, cut off like support to her and just like forced her into things more. And if it was my child, then I would have just forced them onto the bus. Like, that's just how I would have raised my kids. People have opinions. People have so many opinions. In fact, I don't really know anyone, including myself, that doesn't hear about a topic and instantly have passionate opinion about it. That's fine. But again, be sensitive. Like, my parents have done loads of things for me over the years that have been super helpful. Even today, my dad went and picked up a bike for me, and because I can't go to pick it up, I'm really excited about this new bike. They will help me go to the shops if I find the shops difficult. For years, I didn't leave their sofa because I couldn't move because of my anxiety. I think if you've not been through severe anxiety, you really have no idea how difficult it can be. It's not the same as when you feel a bit anxious about things. It's constant and very, very difficult. My parents and me and my friends and people that love me and that I love have tried their best in all situations to do what felt right. And I think sometimes keep your opinion to yourself, or sometimes be like, I don't know enough about that topic to have an opinion or to know what to say. That's okay to say. This is one of my favourites, this one. So many people have said over the years, why don't you just drive her into town and then just drive away, and then she has no option but to get on a bus home. My issue isn't with directions. Yes, I would be able to find my way home. I would know how to get home too. However, it would be very traumatic for me. My parents have been, like, people have said this to them. Like, so many people have said this. Like, why don't you knock her out and like chuck her on a plane? Because that doesn't sound fun. Do you think that sounds fun? Knocking somebody out in order to get them to do something that you think should be expected in society. That doesn't sound fun to me. I don't want to be knocked out. I don't want to be abandoned in the middle of a town. None of that sounds enjoyable, or like the way you should treat anybody ever. Like I said, my issue isn't with directions. I would know how to get home. My issue would be with having panic attacks and finding that really difficult to do. I don't know why anybody would think this would be an okay thing to say. Just knock her out and ship her somewhere. Also, having said all of this, I have friends or people that are really close to me that make jokes about my anxiety all the time. I make jokes about my anxiety all the time. I think that's an important part of who I am anyway, I like making people laugh. I like to laugh, especially because all of this anxiety stuff can be so hard and so rubbish. I think you need to make light of things sometimes. I personally like to have a laugh about it. And if it's like my best friend or like somebody, my boyfriend or somebody like I really love, I don't care if they make fun of me. I don't care if they have a laugh about these things. But if it's somebody that's genuinely seriously thinking that I should be knocked out and shoved on a bus, or that doesn't know me or whatever, then I do find it offensive and upsetting. but I have thick skin. So none of this stuff I think about very often. These are some of the things that have been said to me, and I'm sure if you're somebody with severe anxiety, have been said to you at some point, or there could be others that people have said to you before. And I feel like I've just talked for ages. I don't want this video to be a complainy sin situation, but I think it's important to highlight the things that I think a lot of people think we've come so far now that, you know, we don't really need awareness about mental health. We do. We do need mental health awareness, because there are plenty of people, old, young, whoever, that have strong opinions about how we should treat people, that don't always think before they speak, and that don't always put themselves in the position of the person they're talking about. I also, by the way, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've definitely said things I shouldn't have said before. A million trillion times, I'm sure. But these are just some of the things that, you know, haven't been very helpful. If there's anything that you would like to add to this list of things that people have said to you, or whatever, I'd really, really love to know. I would love to hear other people in my kind of situation, what they've experienced with this. Like, have people ever been like misunderstanding you about your anxiety? Or also, if we're wanting to put a positive spin on this, what things people said to you about your anxiety that have been positive? Thank you very much for watching this video. If you would like to be involved with anxiety chats, in the description there'll be lots of links that you can follow to get involved with us. I would really love to meet you and chat to you. And thank you for watching. Bye.